Let's tell you now about some 87,000 students that could be without funding next year due to possible budget cuts. The National Student Financial Aid Scheme briefed Parliament yesterday on its plans for next year's academic year. We speak now to the President of the South African Student Congress, Vezinhlanhla Simelane, in terms of their reaction to what it is that we heard yesterday. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. So you've got universities and technical vocational education and training colleges that will be mostly impacted by these budget cuts. What is your understanding of what was presented to Parliament by NSFAS yesterday?
Thanks very much. Good day to you and good day to our viewers at home. I think, number one, we must say that as an organization that we're highly disappointed by the action that will be taken by our government for implementing austerity measures. If you'll remember very well, it's not for the first time they're intending to do this thing. We remember in 2020, if not 2021, there was a budget cut that was directed from the treasurers to the Department of Higher Education to cut the budget. And we fought against that. I remember someone who even went to Cape Town to march against the decision that was taken by our government. But through the pressure that we have given to them at that time, they were able to reverse that decision. And as an organization, we are saying we're disappointed because we're supposed to ensure that we increase the numbers of those who want to benefit from NSFAS. So if they are saying they're going to cut the budget, it means that even the free education that they've declared in terms of financial aspect is not going to assist because it will have a limitation in terms of those who must be assisted by NSFAS. So we're totally opposing the budget cut, which will negatively impact on our students.
Because for universities, NSFAS has projected the budget to be 41.9 billion rand for 2024-2025 and 43.7 billion rand for 2025-2026. And they say that Treasury's projected 10% budget cut will result in a shortfall of universities of some 5.5 billion rand for the 2024-2025 academic year and 8.1 billion rand for 2025-2026. And for technical colleges, the projected budget was 9.7 billion rand for 2024-2025 and 10 billion rand for 2025-2026. And now they see that 970 million rand will be cut from TVET College's budget for 2024-2025 financial year. And so they have outlined the risks. And they say the risk, NSFAS, that is student protests. And so what options are available to you as students?
I think from now on, the good thing is that we're going to have a national policy conference in December from 7 up until the 10th. I think that matter will be discussed in our policy conference and we'll be able to take a position in terms of what needs to be done. But what I can assure you is that I don't think there will be any situation where our students who qualify for NSFAS next year won't be able to be given NSFAS. If they are continuing with the austerity measures that we are opposing in education, we don't have any choice but to find ourselves marching on the streets, demanding to ensure that all those who qualify for NSFAS must be able to get NSFAS. And if we've been trying to analyze and looking at numbers of people who might not get NSFAS, it's more than 200,000 students. And I don't think a current government can be able to do such a thing. That is why you are saying these are austerity measures done by the treasurer. And we do believe that even NSFAS itself must be in a position to support the call that we'll be making. Because at the end of the day, they are the ones to distribute money. If the money is not enough, those people are supposed to benefit from the money. They will come direct to NSFAS to demand an increase in terms of the budget. But we know very well that these are the budget cuts done by Treasurer, our own government of the ANC. So I don't think that the ANC government can do such an inhumane thing where the majority of our people who are suffering from poverty are unable to access NSFAS. So we're going to be in the forefront come next year, January, in ensuring that those who qualify for NSFAS are able to get NSFAS and ensure that they continue their studies and ensure that their families are well taken care of.
There was a probe by a certain law firm and a well-known advocate into some of the problems at NSFAS, and it made a number of recommendations. One of those is to terminate the direct payment service provider's contract, which is something that students had been complaining about. And when you hear that this contract needs to be terminated, what then does that tell you?
No, in our view, actually, the matter that we are raising is a matter that we've always raised as an organization, because there were many challenges in terms of charges on the direct payment, in terms of money disappearing on the system. So we have said to our government that the best option that they can do, because in our view, we do believe that government must be able to build its own state capacity to distribute these allowances to our students. So there was also a discussion of a post bank. How can a post bank can be able to ensure that they pay monies to direct to NSFAS? Because if you are going to contract private companies, we are not necessarily building a state capacity. We are also promoting private capital to ensure that they continue the business. But in our view, we do believe that those companies, we did welcome a decision of suspending those companies. It must be implemented quickly so that next year, when our students are supposed to receive their allowances, they don't find a situation where they don't get allowances because there is no one who can distribute allowances. So we do believe that our own government must be able to build state capacity to run away from tenders. Well, tenders are problematic. We've seen it. Our students, some of them, they've went home without receiving their allowances as things stand. So I think we do believe that there must be an intervention direct that comes from our government.
Mr. Simelane, sir, if you'd please indulge us, what course are you studying?
I am doing public administration.
Wonderful.
Sure.
So when you speak of building state capacity and you speak of the private sector as well, I mean, if you listen to the rhetoric from the politicians, it's all about, not even politicians, some pundits as well will tell you that the state does not have capacity, and so we must bring the public's, the private sector on board. And this cuts across a number of institutions in South Africa, some of them state-owned. What does that tell you as a student, what you are learning at school and what you are observing play itself out in South Africa in 2023 tells you what?
I think we are asking a very important question, my sister. You know, the importance of building a state capacity is to ensure that you run away from tender system, because tender system, as much as there are some things that have been positive about tender system, but if we are able to build state capacity, I think that is the most progressive idea that we'll be having. You do have like your companies that are state-owned, your SAA, your DNet, of which in our view, what we have seen currently is a reversal of what we thought was progressive in terms of ensuring that the state capacity, because at the end of the day, people are benefiting from private companies, private entities. It's not the majority of the people, but it are those who are the minority that benefit from those companies. But if the state, remember the state is the one that is supposed to represent the people of South Africa. So if you are able to build the capacity of the state, even our people that will be employed by those companies will have better access to to the things that they matter in their lives, your medical aid and all of those things, the pensions will be a much problem, because we will be able to expand even the employment through the state. But we are not saying entirely it must shut down private sector, because we are a mixed economy where you need at least to ensure that you also accommodate private companies. But that should not be our primary goal, to ensure that we prioritize private companies more than our state-owned entities.
Vezinhlanhla Simelane is president of the South African Student Congress. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon.